So I'm going to go over setting up external editors in ACDSee Photo Studio Ultimate. In this case, it'll be 2019. So I already have it running. I'll open it up. You start off in Manage mode. Go to Tools, External Editors, Tools, External Editors, Configure Editors. And then it's pretty simple. You just click on Add. Go to the path to your external editor. So in my case, I'm going to do a number of them. I'm going to do 7 different editors, starting with Photoshop, CS5, an older version of it. But so let's do it. So let's navigate to the 64-bit, and then it's Photoshop. We'll just call it. That's a good enough name for it. Say OK, puts it in there. We want to make sure that the support multiple images is selected, and then we just do this for the rest of my external editors. And so here we go. So the next one I want to do is Autopano Pro 3.6. That's in Program Files. Color. I actually have both Autopano Pro and Autopano Giga. I have problems with Giga, but I still link to the external editor as well. But for this one, we'll do this, and we'll do that guy. I don't want to include the build date, so this is just a string that for recognizing which version we're talking about, and this is version 3.6. Pretty easy. Oh, incidentally, because I did Adobe Photoshop first, it's set as the default, but you can change any of them. You can change. I'm going to just change it to Autopano Pro. What I'll probably do is change it to Photomatix Pro to be the default, but you just click this to set the default. It's real simple. You could always change it too. Oops, I don't want to actually edit. I want to add a new one. Let's do Giga. This time, again, it's in the Color subdirectory. We're going to do Giga, Autopano Giga. I think what I need to do is upgrade that. And again, same deal here. I just want to put the version number in these parens and not the date, not the build date. The version of Giga is 4.4.1. I find that to be helpful when I'm launching it, or if I'm needing to update or whatever. I just like to have the version numbers in there. Next one, although I don't really need this anymore because it's the Adobe DNG converter. It used to be where if I had incompatibilities and I didn't have the Adobe Camera Raw proper version of that, because I'm using a pretty old version of Photoshop. In fact, I don't really even use Photoshop anymore. I do everything in ACDSee, but I'll just link to it. It can't hurt. So this is in Adobe. Why do I not see Adobe? Because it's in the 86 directory. It's not in Program Files. It's in Program Files x86. Adobe, and then it's in Adobe DNG converter. Why do I not? No, it's right here. It's right there. We'll open that. And all of these actually. Oh, and I actually do know the version that I'm using here. And this is version 9.8. And all of the programs that I'm going to add, they do support multiple images, which means I can select a series of images and then click the appropriate external editor, and it'll open up all of those images. And that comes in handy with things like Autopano, which is used to make panoramics, AutoGiga, same thing, and then like Photomatix for doing high dynamic range HDR imaging. That's why. And then the last one I use is GeoCenter, which is used to add geoposition information, and you do it to a series of images, and you can open all of those images in these editors, and so that's what that multiple is. I also do have a different raw editor, which I used before I was so hooked on ACDSee, but it's called Olanio Photo Engine. It does do one thing that no other applications do that I'm aware of. It does this light source thing, so I like to use it. In this case, I'll just leave it like that. I'll just leave it named like that. I don't use that one too often, but I like to have it because it doesn't hurt. It's just a link. And then now Photomatix Pro. That's a workhorse application. I use it a lot. I'll use the most recent version. Strange that it did that. We'll do it like that. Photomatix Pro EXE. This is the one that we want to link to. We'll just call it Photomatix Pro 6. I don't think I need to have the EXE in there. I'll just call this Photomatix Pro 6. Okay. I don't know why I didn't do a little. Let me edit that and make sure that we're pointing to the correct place. Photomatix. Yeah, that's the right path. Did I not set that correctly? That looks more like it. I must have not had the completely path to it. And the last one I do is GeoSetter, and that's a 64-bit application. With the GeoSetter. This is used for using GPX files to add geoposition data. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, the name is actually GeoSetter. I don't actually remember what version that is, but it's okay. I could always go back and edit it again later. I'm going to make this the default, though. Tend to use it quite often. It's somewhere between Photomatix Pro and Autopano Pro. I use a lot. Okay, so what that really does for you is, well, here, let's take an HDR series. This looks like a good series. This is the underexposed. This is the straight on. This is the over. Just as an example, and then go to editors, and there are all the ones that I just set up, and you can see the one that's the default is in bold. I can select it, or I can hit this this top one, which is default. Let's do that, and this will open up. It should open up Photomatix Pro with these 3 images. That seems to be taking quite a long time. Let's give it a couple seconds to load. There we go. And those are the 3 images, just as we expected. So that's about it. Looks like all of the editors are correctly configured. So it looks like it worked.